UNESCO report estimates that COVID pandemic has adversely impacted nearly 290 million students in 22 countries. Now we know that the adverse impact of COVID-19 has shaken the world to its core. Like other sectors, education institutions have been impacted badly because of this shutdown and because of the spread of coronavirus. The UNESCO report estimates that COVID pandemic has adversely impacted nearly 290 million students in 22 countries. And if we talk about India per se, there are nearly 32 crore students who are out of school. Now, a lot of concerted, synchronized effort is required by the government and various agencies of the government to sort of mitigate and reduce the immediate impact of the school closures or university closures, particularly for the vulnerable, the poor, the marginalized communities of the society. Therefore, the government sort of needs to step in and step up with more inclusive e-learning programs. Many edutech firms have tried to leverage the situation by offering free online classes. These measures have met with an overwhelming positive responses by the students, with some startups witnessing an early tick-up of nearly 25%. Remote learning seems like a viable solution to the students during the current time. COVID-19 has prompted the experts and the specialists in the government and the private sector, particularly working in the education sector, to sort of rethink about the conventional mode of education. Digital education sort of appears to be a viable solution to fill in the vacuum or a void in the current circumstances. But can it be an alternative for a long term is a question which many need to think about. Some experts feel that digital education is likely to be integrated into the mainstream education forever. This will enable inclusive education by facilitating learning which sort of across the diverse geographies. Moreover, it will also provide an opportunity for the educators to come up with very innovative, interesting, customized learning solutions for every student's need. We can recollect the example of massive open online courses, which is a MOOC, where unlimited participation and open access via the web allows many millions to access this kind of education facility or a platform. India, in fact, is considered to be the biggest market of MOOCs program in the world, just behind USA. The open learning platforms or courses like MOOC will provide a gateway for a lot of Indians in terms of bringing the major educational disruption, or we can call it revolution. However, many are still warning that the digital learning is not without its limitations and challenges. It is often considered that the digital learning platforms are rather personalized and it doesn't bring in that whole ecosystem in which the student can be in a process of learning about the education in real sense. We must acknowledge, even though that students living in urban areas belonging to upper classes or middle classes can have facility for digital education, but the rural students or students from the poor communities or vulnerable sections of the society still do not have this kind of access. Another thing which comes to my mind is about that whenever we talk about e-learning, the statistics proves it that there is a high dropout rate due to the lack of atmosphere in the e-learning platforms. We must know, or we rather know about this thing, that India, it's not a reality for all the geographical locations, particularly for the tier 2, tier 3 cities and the villages. The connectivity, the internet connectivity and the power supply is disrupted. We also need to be a little careful about the content creation, content dissemination, and the whole evaluation process to bring about standardization of e-learning, Now, learning, as they say, is a continuous, ever-evolving process. So educational institutions from schools to university sectors require to make a lot of breakthrough and changes in the current circumstances to actually revamp the whole education sector and make it more inclusive. So this crisis can be a good opportunity to sort of rethink, revisit the whole education sector and to bring about some of the much needed reforms and rectifications in the sector itself. Thank you very much.